time for us to start beginning how to create our own geometry in the SolidCAD modeling system. One of the things that I need you to do here is take a look at section 2.2 in the guidebook. This is going to help you to know how solid geometry is created, which is that it's created with a combination of 2D geometry and 3D geometry going back and forth as described by the Lego brick example in the guidebook. So take a look at that. I think you'll find that useful. And when you are done, come back to look at the next activity, which is going to be activity 2.8, where we start creating a gasket for this turbocharger. And that gasket is going to be a rectangular gasket fitting right on this end. All right, time for us then to go on to activity 2.8. Activity 2.8, great, there's a lot of steps here. Looks like it's gonna take a little bit longer, so let's just think here. We wanna create and name a new part. So I'm gonna come up here to File, I'm gonna say New. It's gonna give me 3 options, a part, an assembly, or a drawing. We're only gonna worry about parts right now, so I'm gonna create a part drawing. First thing I always like to do is make sure that I'm set to MMGS, which is what I've done down here in the bottom. And then I also feel a little bit hesitant not naming this, so I want to just pause for a minute and name it because I'm just going to call it A28 as in A2.8, and we will just, I don't know if that's a good name, but I want to save it, okay? All right, then we want to use the sketch button, which is in the sketch command manager. These things here are called command managers. We're in the features command manager now. I want to go into the sketch command manager. Okay, using the sketch button in the sketch command manager, create a new CAD sketch. Okay, so that's right here. I'm going to create a new sketch. Okay, deliberately choose the front plane to sketch on. You can see over here I got 3 planes, front plane, top plane, right plane. If you don't see the planes, you need to come up here into your hide show thing and turn on these planes. All right, I want to select the front plane, and when I did, it automatically gave me an orthogonal view looking straight normal into this, straight down into the page, and I'm going to use this to sketch on. Okay, and you can see there's a footnote down there that's worth looking at. Later, when you create engineering drawings, where you choose your front plane to be versus your top plane or right plane will make your drawing process easier. So I recommend that your primary view, the most descriptive geometry of the part, be placed on the front plane. That will make the drawing process easier. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to use the corner rectangle command and draw a rectangle near but not on the origin. The origin is the spot where all these planes intersect, just right there. Okay, all right, notice the presence of 4 geometric relations. Okay, first of all, I have to figure out how to do this. So I need to make a rectangle. Here are some basic geometry pieces, right here, line, circle, rectangle. Okay, I'm going to make a rectangle. And what does this say? A corner rectangle, and that's what this is. So I'll make a corner rectangle, and I'm going to do it, but not on the origin. Okay? All right, that's what that asked me to do. Now it says, notice the presence of 4 geometric relations. These are tiny icons in... These tiny icons indicate geometric relations associated with the entity. Common entities are defined in figure 2.6. So you need to study figure 2.6. Figure 2.6 shows a number of things. And what are we seeing here? I don't know, let me go back to reading this. If you do not see any of these tiny icons, choose to show them by using the Hide Show drop-down menu. Okay, so if you don't see stuff that you should be seeing, you come up here and you can turn on some of these things, okay? All right. What's our next piece here? Figure 2.7 defines the meaning of these icons and relations. By choosing corner-to-corner rectangle, the CAD system assumed that these relations were wanted. So what relations are we talking about? We're talking about this relation, okay? Let me hit escape for a second. If I hit escape, I'm sort of out of the sketch mode for a minute, and I can hover on this, and it tells me what it is. This is a relationship that says this line should be horizontal. Now you can guess that this relationship is that this line remain vertical, okay? that's what a corner-to-corner rectangle is going to get me. If I, for example, make a line from here to here, okay, this line doesn't have those relations on there because it's neither horizontal nor vertical. Okay, let me just delete that thing. Okay. All right, what are we going to do? I'm just going to keep reading this. Okay, use the Smart Dimension command to define the size of the part. Okay, Smart Dimension. Okay, look, here's the Smart Dimension thing. And let's see what this says. After clicking the Smart Dimension button, click on the lower horizontal line of the rectangle here. And then click again below that line here and change this value to 100. Great. Excellent. Now I'm still in, you can tell by my cursor, it's got this little dimension line on it. It means I'm still in the Smart Dimensioning command, which means I can do the next thing, which says click on the left vertical line, which is this one, come over here to the side and click, and switch this height to 150. All right, that is great. That's sort of the rectangle I'm wanting. Okay, now I'm going to, okay, what am I going to do? I'm going to do what it says in the guide, okay? I'm going to check the fully defined, underdefined indicator. That's the one right down here, okay? And it's indicating that it's underdefined. And why is it underdefined? Its location in space is ambiguous. Okay, let me just click good on this for a second. Okay, here's my, okay, I'm messing that up. I'm going to fix this by going and editing my sketch. Okay, my part is still, it can move anywhere it wants. Its size is correct, but its location in space is ambiguous. This is super important for you to know. Every time we define something, for it to be fully defined, we have to define its size and shape and its location in space. All right, its location in space is ambiguous. There are various ways to make the rectangular's location unambiguous, but it is smart to use geometric relations. To specify relations, you must first exit the Smart Dimension command. You can do this by clicking the small green button here or here. Okay, I've actually never really clicked this one over there, but that'll do it. Actually, we need to, yeah, so that small green button got us out of the Smart Dimension. Now we're still in the sketch mode. If you accidentally get out of the sketch mode, what you have to do is go back in here into your sketch, right click on it and say edit. Now you're back in the sketch mode into that same sketch for the rectangle. All right, so what do we want to do here? I'm just following the guide. Okay. Okay, let's see what this is going to say. We're right here at the top. Okay. Fully locate the rectangle in space by choosing its bottom right point. Okay, bottom right point. What does it say? Choose the bottom right point, then click. I clicked. And while holding shift, I'm going to hold shift, I'm going to choose the origin, just right here. Okay, now I'm just going to hold on and keep reading for a second. Release the shift key and a menu will appear. Wow, look, there's a menu, great. What we want to do is we want to choose one of these relations, and what I want to do is choose to make this coincident. Means those 2 points are now going to be in the same place. Great, this is an important part of this. So what are we doing? I'm trying to step you through the activity. I'm trying to do the activity exactly as it's written because there are special things that are being taught, such as holding that shift button, clicking, then unclicking, and a little menu appears. These are ways for you to learn how to accelerate your CAD work as we go on. So what's the next thing that's going on here? Let's see. Notice that the sketch now is fully defined. Its size, shape, and location are fully specified. And we can see that down here. It says fully defined. Excellent. Okay. So another thing going on here is that all of the lines of my sketch turned black. They were blue when they were underdefined. Now they're black, so that means they're fully defined. Okay. Accept the sketch. That means come over here and hit go on that. Hit the check mark. Okay. Accept the sketch and return to the 3D geometry workspace, which is where we are now. Okay, in the design tree, now let's just see what this says. In the design tree, notice that there are now 5 geometric features in this part. The front plane, the top plane, the right plane, the origin, and the sketch that I made. Okay, now I'm going to use the sketch that I just made by clicking on it. Okay, I didn't right-click it to edit it, I just clicked it to indicate I wanted it. I'm going to use the sketch I just made to create a solid by clicking on the sketch name in the design tree, then clicking the extrude boss base command, which is over here in the features. Okay, extruded boss base. And what does this say? I want to change D1 from 10 millimeters to 5 millimeters. It's already highlighted. It's ready for me to do something. I'm just hitting 5 and hit return. Okay. I'm going to do the green mark over here, and now I have a solid. Now I have a solid. Okay. Now, an interesting thing here, if I didn't want to see all these planes, I could just turn them off. If I was curious about whether it's actually solid or not, I could do a cross-section on the thing and see that it's actually solid. Or I can go back to what I had. Okay, these are just ways of combining the navigation with the other stuff going on here. Okay, now we want to assign PTFE, which is a plastic, as our material. Right now we have no material specified at all. So we're going to right click on this. We're going to edit material. We're going to come in here and we're going to find plastics. Okay, and we're going to, these are all listed alphabetically or alphabetical. Okay, where's my FTPE? Is that what it said? FTFE. What am I saying? PTFE. There we go. Apply. Close. Okay, we've chosen a material that might actually be a proper gasket material. So that's why we chose that. All right, now we need to save the part. Look, I got a little star right here indicating my part's not saved. Okay, I need to save this guy. Okay, I should come up here, hit save, we're good to go. Okay, that was activity 2.8. Time for us to go on to activity 2.9.